This is Stephanie Lazarus reporting for News First.
The details of the United National Party May Day rally held at the Campbell Park in Morella. I will be joining you later on in the bulletin. For the News First team, I'm Satran.
And I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka at the Newsfirst Centre in Colombo. Welcome to Weekend Primetime News. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
16 major May Day rallies across the island. A pledge from the President to SLF peers who gathered in Galle.
නිදහස් පක්ෂය පිරිසිදු දේශපාලන පක්ෂයක් විදියට ගොඩනැගෙන්නට ඕනේ.
Prime Minister addresses problems faced by the government in the search for the corrupt.
උදයන්ග වීරතුංගගේ කරවටේ අත දාන්න පුළුවන්. FCI දෙකට විරුද්ධයි.
A May Day promise from the Finance Minister.
එනම් මයිදිනේට ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ අවුරුදු ටික යන්න තියෙන තරයි යනවා කියන එක මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අපි මතක් කරන්න කැමතියි.
Rally of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party-led United People's Freedom Alliance took place at the Samnala grounds in Galle today under the theme "A Hand to Rebuild the Country, a Tomorrow to Win the World." The May Day rally was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena.
The SLFP rally commenced when the supporters entered the grounds. President Maithripala Sirisena, the chairman of the SLFP, arrived at the Samnala grounds subsequently.
சுதந்திர கட்சி உட்பட அனைத்து கூட்டு இணைந்த சுதந்திர கூட்டமைப்பின் மேதின கூட்ட நிகழ்வில் ஸ்ரீலங்கா ஜனநாயக சோசலிச குடியரசின் அதிபர் ஜனாதிபதி மைத்ரிபால சிறிசேன அவர்கள் காலி சமநிலை விளையாட்டு அரங்கிலே ඔබේ වැඩ කරන ජනසභාවේ ආදරණීය නායකයාට ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ නායකයාට ජය වේවා ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ සභාපතිතුමාට ජය වේවා ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමන්ට ජය වේවා වැඩ කරන ජනතාව
දිවයිනේ දීප ව්‍යාප්තව විවිධ ප්‍රදේශවල තිබෙන
From among the 49 May Day rallies being held across the country, the police are reporting that the largest crowd is present at the May Day rally here in Galle. What is the message we are delivering to the country at this May Day rally? In order to build a good country, we need the commitment of everyone in this country. On this historic May Day of 2016, I invite with my arms wide open all of the political parties, party leaders, trade unions and all of the people who wish to see this country progress to join us in rebuilding the country. I call on everyone to unite. When we speak as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, in order to form an SLFP government in the near future, the SLFP has to be established as a clean political party. The SLFP was defeated at the last two national elections, but I believe that this May Day rally is the first step in the journey to a SLFP victory. I must state clearly that from here on, we will embark on a rapid journey to victory and to strengthen the party.
ඉදිරියට යනවායි කියන එක ඉතාම පැහැදිලිව ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට ඕනේ.
Well, the May Day rally organised by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party came to a close today after much support that was shown for the party from various districts around the nation. Well, today we were able to see a number of recommendations that were put forward in order to make the May Day rally a memorable one for the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Well, we're reporting for the News First team from Samnala Ground, Galle. This is Stephanie Lazarus.
The United National Party's May Day procession commenced near the PD Sirisena grounds in Maligavatta today.
The UNP's May Day celebrations were held under the theme, the National May Day Rally of People Who Made Sacrifices. The procession commenced with the participation of numerous ministers, MPs and supporters. The procession made its way to Campbell Park via Armour Street, Panchikavatta, Maradana, Punchiburala and Baseline Road. Party leader Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe joined the rally at Campbell Park.
As far as I know, May Day rallies are held for working people. Who is opposing us? What have we done wrong? We did one thing, but it was not wrong. We chased away the Rajapaksa regime. We rallied everyone to destroy it. Now they are calling for an anti-UNP May Day. They are talking about being anti-UNP in order to cover up their political bankruptcy and anti-democratic actions. Our party has space for all communities and for various ideologies. But I wish to say that there is no space in our party for cardboard gamunus. Is it surprising that these people are opposed to the FCID? Apparently, being anti-UNP is to put your arm around Udhyanga Weeratunga's shoulders and have meals with him. At the very least, return the money to Sri Lanka. They can place their arms around Udhyanga Weeratunga's shoulders and they are opposed to the FCID. This is why they are calling to be anti-UNP. We said we would reduce the prices of goods and we did so. When world fuel prices reduced, we reduced the prices of fuel. We said we would eradicate corruption and we have commenced that task. We do what we say.
The JVP May Day rally commenced at the SDS Jayasinghe grounds today.
On the 14th of May 1965, Comrade Rohana Vijayveera and others gathered at the residence of a worker in Akmimana, Galle and marked the beginning of a new direction for the leftist movement in Sri Lanka. This was the formation of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, a party which has risen to become one of the major political parties in the country with its populist left-wing policies.
Political representatives of the party took part in the rally under the auspices of the leader of the JVP, Anura Kumara Dissanayaka. The rally featured artistic recreations of notable points in the history of the struggle for workers' rights. The JVP May Day procession, which commenced from the SDS Jayasinghe grounds in Dehiwala, reached the BRC grounds via High Level Road and the Kiratapana Bridge. The JVP May Day rally commenced thereafter.
The former government and the existing government dragged the country's economy to complete bankruptcy. As a result, the people are facing immense hardship. This is a platform that brings together North and the South, irrespective of caste or creed, to struggle against this pressure that the working community, you and I, go through.
The Democratic Party also celebrated May Day today.
The parade began in Rajagiriya under the leadership of Democratic Party leader, Minister and Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca. The parade arrived at Buddhadasa grounds via the Parliament roundabout where the rally was held. Our party has always stood by decisions which benefit low-income earners, the middle class and working people. Today too, we decided to hold this May Day rally to honour these people who work tirelessly and face many hardships.
Representatives of several constituent parties of the United People's Freedom Alliance organised a May Day procession which commenced at Shalika grounds in Narayanpeta.
Trade unions and organizations affiliated to the UPFA and several SLFP public representatives participated in the procession. While the procession travelled along Baseline Road to Kirulapana, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa also arrived at Baseline Road to witness the procession. The procession arrived at the Lalit Atlat Mudali grounds in Kirulapana at about 3 p.m. this afternoon, following which the May Day rally commenced.
Now they've gone on and bought about an NBT tax, the nation building tax. What happens through this? Well, we said we would give all the boys and girls Wi-Fi, didn't we? So now, when you buy a 100 rupee reload, you only get to talk for 53 rupees. Well, there goes your love lives.
Here are some of the views expressed during the May Day rallies and parades.
The working people of this country are facing a massive challenge due to the policies of the new government. From tomorrow, people will not be able to live on the wages they receive. They will have to curtail a number of goods and services. This is a major challenge for the working people. Tomorrow will mark the beginning of the biggest political struggle in the country.
We know there are problems among the youth. Youth are still taking to the streets asking for jobs. We need to answer them. There are problems with the country's economy. We need to find solutions to these problems. In order to find solutions to these issues, the SLFP needs to be strong. When we are trying to do this, some try to pull us down. As the youth, we are disappointed. There are ways and means to obtain power.
2 weeks ago, the Rajapaksas went to Thailand saying that they haven't stolen a single cent. When they go to Thailand, they are met by Udayanga Veeratunga, who is wanted by the police for fraud. Then we would like to ask Mahinda Rajapaksa if they knew the whereabouts of this thief. Why didn't they inform us? Why are we not informed about how this person got there? Udayanga Veeratunga did not go there empty-handed. He handed over suitcases full of money to Mahinda Rajapaksa. We will carry out investigations on this. On one side, Gotabaya Rajapaksa is due in court. But without appearing in court, he goes to the United States of America. We asked the police as to why they allowed these things. You will be able to find out about Nama Rajapaksa's fate in the near future. We would like to remind all of you that all these thieves will be in their rightful place before the next May Day. We received many calls at the Ministry of Finance asking why we are not speeding up these cases. We will speed up the investigations and bring them before the public.
I could have gone to Kirulapana or to some other place. I was invited to such places as well. Last evening too, I received an invitation. Instead of celebrating the May Day in the traditional manner by walking on mud paths, I am very glad to have come for a discussion with a few of you who have real concern for the people and this country. Today May Day is not celebrated on behalf of the working people. It is just another day that showcases political strength in a very market-oriented manner.
They have used the ideal location. They say it is to revive the lost crown.
After seeing the crowds that arrived at Campbell Grounds, the youth wrote this poem. This is what it said.
Who brings crowds to Kirulapana? It is Basil's money. Where did they get this money? When Mahinda Rajapaksa became president, back then Basil did not have money. But today, he goes to every council and gives out $1 million and asks them to bring people. Go and see. The people will be like bumblebees. They try to show the public mandate by bribing them with benefits. That will not work. It will be unsuccessful.
Today marks the 130th International Labour Day, a day that marks the struggle of working people to win their rights, overcoming the challenges of the capitalist system.
On the 1st of May 1886, workers gathered at Haymarket Square in Chicago in the United States demanding that their workday be limited to 8 hours. More than 150,000 people participated in the 4-day-long strike. The struggle ended claiming the lives of hundreds of workers. While the strike ended in bloodshed at Haymarket Square, the workers won their demand for an 8-hour workday and several other rights. This in turn led to the raising of red flags across the world demanding guarantees of workers' rights. Sri Lanka first celebrated Labour Day in 1937 under the leadership of the leader of the Labour Party, A.E. Gunasinghe. As a mayor of Colombo, a member of parliament and a minister, Gunasinghe led the effort to rally a force to combat the oppression of British imperialism. A. Gunasinghe's 125th birthday was commemorated today, parallel to the May Day celebrations at the premises of Gunasinghe's statue in Petta. Former Minister T.B. Langaratne played an instrumental role in May Day being declared a holiday in Sri Lanka. The trade union leader, writer, dramatist and humanist politician was commemorated today at a memorial event held at the premises of his statue in Navammawatha under the auspices of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Today marks the 23rd commemoration of late President Ranasinghe Premadasa, who was considered as the first leader to come out from the common people to provide political leadership to the country. The main commemoration was held at the Premadasa Memorial in Hulstorf, Colombo.
Ranasinghe Premadasa, who entered politics under the Ceylon Labour Party and was elected to the Colombo Municipal Council, where days later he was elected as the deputy mayor. In 1965, Ranasinghe Premadasa was elected to Parliament. Since then, he held the positions of Minister of Local Government, Prime Minister and climbed the ladder to become the second executive president of Sri Lanka. Introducing a revolution to housing in the country, he launched the Gam Udava program and also introduced the Jana Savya and parental guardian schemes. He was also the pioneer to provide school uniforms for children and introduced a program aimed at industries. Late President Ranasinghe Premadasa, who rendered an insurmountable service to the nation, was assassinated during the May Day rally in 1993. President Maithripala Sirisena presided over the commemoration event in Colombo this morning.
When Parliament convened in 1989, President Premadasa summoned the government and the opposition. He spoke on district development programs. I still recall that instance. In Themiya Hurula, Anuradhapura, we completed work on a tank and we asked whether President Premadasa would declare it open and whether there was a need to bring crowds in large numbers. President Premadasa said that the flaw of politicians is that they never inform the people what is done right. If there are trees on the banks of the Themiya Hurula tank, all those leaves must bear testament that this was done during our time. Dear Prime Minister, the flaw I see in the government is that although we do not commit any wrong, we do not inform and elaborate to the people on the good that we do. Therefore, our political opponents always speak of what we do not do. Back then we saw for the first time how people went to Geneva and called on them to intervene in Sri Lanka and not to provide Premadasa with international aid. He said, come to Sri Lanka and witness what is happening. They came and witnessed. Eventually they sanctioned Sri Lanka from Geneva. That did not affect the government of late President Ranasinghe Premadasa, but it affected the government that wanted them to come here. There is no point in crying after what has happened. The country was cornered. Therefore, we joined with President Maithripala Sirisena and created the consensual government to bring about national unity. If President Ranasinghe Premadasa was alive today, he would have rendered a 200% support to the government's program with President Maithripala Sirisena. There is no big difference between the challenges faced in the Premadasa era and the challenges before us now. Like a mirror, the President and the Prime Minister are facing those challenges. Today, at a time when we are trying to move ahead by doing something for the betterment of the country, there are conspirators who are always pulling us and the country down. These conspirators cannot bring down President Maithripala Sirisena. He is strong and he has skill.
ගරු මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මැතිතුමාව ලේසියෙන් කුමන්ත්‍රණකාරීන්ට වටවන්නට බෑ. එතුමාට කොන්දක් තියෙනවා. එතුමාට හැකියාවක් තිබෙනවා.
Land deeds were also presented to persons who will be given lands from the proposed Maduluwabe Sobira Thero Memorial Village.
එවැගේම කොළඹ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ 1300කට හිමිකම් ඔප්පු සහ ප්‍රධානයන් සිදු කරනු ලබනවා. ගරු අමාත්‍යතුමා විසින්
A union leader who fought to protect and uphold workers' rights for over 6 decades was felicitated on May Day today.
22nd Lane in Kolpiti was renamed after the late union leader Bala Thampo today. under the auspices of Labour Minister W.D. Jayesenavaratne. After his radical proposal in June 1947 demanding union and political rights for public sector employees, Bala Thampo was removed from public service. Undeterred, Thampo came forward as the General Secretary of the Ceylon Mercantile, Industrial and General Workers Union, becoming a voice for the voiceless. Until the moment of his passing on the 1st of September 2014, Bala Thampo stood steadfast in the fight for workers' rights in an era where such movements had been expropriated by political parties, and is remembered as a legendary trade union leader.
Welcome back to the news. President Maithripala Sirisena participated in a televised discussion with electronic media journalists yesterday. Let's take a look at some of the views expressed there.
We initiated the Gum at the Door-to-Door campaign together with the Peradeniya University. We travelled on carpeted roads until we reached the roads where it was difficult to even walk in order to reach some of the most rural villages in the country. Sometimes we witnessed that these people are facing numerous problems. These people cast their vote at the last election and brought about change with the hope that there would be answers. But what the people hoped for has not happened in these villages.
I wish to invite you to have a Nagram at the program, just like the Gum at the program. Go to central Colombo and look at the situation there. There's a general view that there are no shortcomings in schools in Colombo and that they are complete. I recently visited a school adjacent to the Hulstorf Court complex. There isn't even a school in the Polonnaru district that has fallen to that level. If you consider the 10,030 schools in Sri Lanka, 75% do not have desks and chairs for children to sit. It has become 15 months since we came into power. And it was not in these 15 months that the schools lost desks and chairs. Therefore I say that what was shown was simply celluloid development. It was simply a development torana.
Celluloid සංවර්ධනයක් තමයි නිකන් තොරණක් වගේ සංවර්ධනයක් තමයි ඔය කියන සංවර්ධනය.
Views were also expressed on constitutional reform.
මම මා සතු බලය මම දානය කළා.
I sacrifice my powers. I sacrifice the powers of the president. I have not heard in this era of a head of state in this world who has sacrificed and offered his powers soon after coming into power. I am not saying this because I did so. I went to all 225 members of parliament. I went to their offices. I went to the places where they eat. I met them in corridors and in the library. I went to their homes, patted them on the head, put my arm around their shoulders, called them brother, and secured the 215 votes to give up my power.
The president also addressed accusations of not acting to establish an SLFP government.
Power was given in Parliament. The UMP had 106 and the SLFP-led alliance received 95. Can a government be formed with 95 seats? Parliament cannot be dissolved for 4.5 years. In the past, it could have been dissolved. So the people who want to form a government with 95 seats are asking for the position of Prime Minister. In order to give the position of Prime Minister to the 95, I will have to conspire. Since 2005, the former president obtained 42 UMP members periodically to form the government. How ethical was that? The SLFP lost 2 national elections. Why did we lose 2 elections? We need to look into that. In order to form a government, we must identify the reasons of our defeat and resolve those problems.
A May Day procession and rally organised by the Dakshina Lanka Media Centre and a few other media organisations was held in Galle today.
The Regional Journalists Association, Mathura Journalist Organisation, Front Media Foundation and journalists representing other local media associations were present at the event. The May Day procession commenced from Samudramawat in Galle. A rally was also held outside the Galle Town Hall after the procession.
Investigative journalism for the people. An international award for Newsfirst Action TV. Presented by the Thomson Foundation together with the Sri Lanka College of Journalism and the Sri Lanka Press Institute. Newsfirst wins the South Asian Inquiry Award for investigative journalism.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of News First Weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.